Hi everyone, Martin Bamford here, and in this video, why we might soon be able to get cash back from shops without having to buy anything. Hi, I'm Martin Bamford, a Chartered Financial Planner and Informed Choice, and in this video I'm talking about some new proposals from HM Treasury to protect the future of the UK cash system. Now, it's fair to say that we are all using cash an awful lot less. That decline has been in place for many years and it's been accelerated recently by the COVID-19 pandemic, our reluctance to handle paper cash, and the rising popularity of contactless payments, other digital payments too. According to the cash machine provider Link, the number of free-to-use cash machines fell by 6,685 in the year to January 2020. So it was already becoming much harder to find places to withdraw cash for free. And as I said, that decline in cash accessibility has really accelerated during the pandemic. But it's been a while since paper money has been our favoured form of payment. Actually, debit card payments overtook cash to go into that top spot back in 2017. So as I said, this is nothing new really, but we are seeing a big acceleration in the decline of cash. And there's some concerned voices in governments for various consumer bodies who want to ensure that we protect access to cash in the future, particularly for vulnerable people and for elderly people who might be more reliant on using cash to buy things. Now, cash isn't quite dead yet. There is approximately £70 billion worth of banknotes in circulation today. That's equivalent to about £1,000 per person, and it's around double the amount of cash that was in circulation a decade ago. So where is all this cash? Because I certainly don't have £1,000 in cash on my person or in my household. I don't tend to use or keep much cash anymore at all. It's mostly digital payments now. This cash is sitting in people's savings to some extent, in cash savings in the jars at home, but mostly in cash machines, in the tills in the shops. And it also makes up the shadow economy, so illegal money and money held overseas, British money held overseas. And that's where this £70 billion worth of banknotes is. So lots of cash still in circulation, but it's becoming harder to access cash because of the closure of those free-to-use ATMs. And also lots of retailers, lots of businesses now discouraging the use of cash. So cash in circulation, while still widespread, is becoming used an awful lot less. Now, there's a couple of important proposals within this new consultation from HM Treasury. The first is to make it possible to have cashback from a retailer without buying something in store. As things stand, you have to buy some goods from a shop in order to access cashback. You can't do it as a standalone transaction. And the reason for that is a piece of EU legislation. So the European Union currently not permitting us to have cashback only in British shops. But of course, we've left the EU, and the end of that transition period on the 31st of December 2020 means the UK will be able to pass a new law allowing cashback to be a standalone item. On the face of it, I think this is pretty good news because local economies thrive on cash. When cashback is given out, that money tends to be recycled in the local community, and it should also help retailers by reducing their banking transaction costs. It should be cheaper to facilitate a cashback transaction than it is to transport cash to a local bank branch, if you can find one that's still open, and pay it in over the counter. So hopefully good news for local economies and good news for retailers too. There's clearly a cost associated with cashback transactions for retailers, and what we've got to hope is the cost of that transaction is lower than the cost of the associated banking transaction, and also the benefits of the retailer of bringing customers into your shop, into your business, outweighs any cost of facilitating cashback transactions. Now, last year during 2019, consumers made £3.8 billion worth of cashback transactions whilst they were out shopping. So cashback is already our second most favoured way of accessing cash, behind using an ATM. And who knows, with these proposals, it could become the most popular way of getting your hands on cash in the UK in quite short order. The second proposal from HM Treasury is to make the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, fully responsible for ensuring that the cash system in the UK benefits consumers and small businesses. As things stand, there are a combination of organisations who are responsible for overseeing the cash system. That does include the Financial Conduct Authority, but also the Bank of England, HM Treasury, and the Payment Systems Regulator. So what the Treasury wants to see is the FCA take on sole responsibility for the cash system and to make sure it benefits consumers and businesses, particularly benefits vulnerable and elderly consumers who are most at risk of a cash system which isn't working well. So announcing these proposals, John Glenn, who is Economic Secretary to the Treasury, said, "We know that cash is still really important for consumers and businesses. That's why we promise to legislate to protect access for everyone who needs it. We want to harness the same creative thinking that has driven innovation in digital payments to maintain the UK's cash system and make sure people can easily access cash in their local area." Cash is so important not only for vulnerable and elderly people and for businesses, as I've already mentioned, but really for all segments of society. I know that charities rely heavily on the accessibility and availability of cash. The charities I work with have had to move very quickly in recent years to make it possible to accept digital contactless payments for donations because, put simply, we're not carrying around the same amount of cash that we used to. It's much harder to dig a hand into our wallet or purse, pull out a note and give it to a charity. So they have to move with the times, but cash is still incredibly important for charities. It's also very important when it comes to budgeting. It is far too easy to make a payment digitally, so a contactless payment, to get your smartphone out and use Apple Pay or another service and not really know what you're spending. It's a little bit disconnected from the transaction. So paying with cash, which is tangible, which is that physical touch and feel to it, I think makes budgeting much, much easier. And then my other area where I worry about the absence of cash is how we teach children about personal finance. Now, growing up, we all learn how to add coins up to make different amounts, which combination of coins we need to put together to reach a certain amount, and giving change for a transaction is a really good way of learning mathematics skills as well. So removing cash from the system, I think, is detrimental to children's personal finance education. And of course, children need to learn about digital payments too. The rise of contactless debit cards for kids is a fantastic innovation, but we need to start them with a really good foundation, and that foundation should be handling cash, calculating coins and notes, trying to work out how much they need when it comes to saving, when it comes to budgeting. So removing cash from the system, I think, could be really detrimental to all parts of society, not just elderly and vulnerable people who rely so heavily on those cash transactions. So what do you think of these new proposals today? Firstly, the ability to get cash back in a shop without having to buy something, and secondly, the FCA taking on its sole responsibility for the UK cash system. Let me know in the comments below. Looking forward to hearing what you think about this one. Do leave this video a like if you found it interesting and useful, and please do subscribe to our channel for more videos like this in the future. Until next time, I'm Martin Bamford, and when it comes to your money, the more you know, the faster it can grow. Thank you for watching.